us, and I'm very grateful for every person who works here because they are an amazing bunch of people.
It provides a forum for expert cancer specialists.
So we've designed the centre having the patient at the centre of the circle of care, and we all work around them.
We walk with the patients to try and make things a little bit easier for them and to empower them as much as possible.
So when I had my initial diagnosis, I really was worried about what it would mean for my daughters. I have 3 young daughters under 10. I have a very busy, active lifestyle with our family. We go camping a lot. We were just a couple of weeks away from going on a 6-week trip around Tasmania, which we just immediately cancelled. And so all of those thoughts were churning around my brain. The staff at the SAN are quite extraordinary. I would come in every day and, I'm a busy wife and mum, so I have to put on my game face every day. I take the children to school, I rush around and do all my different jobs, and then I come home. But when I get to the SAN, I can be me, I can be the cancer patient, I can relax and take that mask off. And the nurses let me be me. It has taken all of the fear and the uncertainty out of having cancer.
Cancer care is complex, and one of the ways that we can optimise our patients' outcomes is to use a multidisciplinary approach. So through the integrated centre, we have access to surgery, radiation oncology, medical oncology, expertise in diagnostics, expertise in radiology, expertise in pathology. We also need to use the resources that are provided through the supportive care that's required. So through psychologists, supportive care centre, Jacaranda Lodge, and then physiotherapy, yoga, rehabilitation. All of those processes become essential for providing our patients with the optimal cancer care. And depending on an individual patient's needs, we will tap into each of those facets that are required.
We will discuss a patient in advance after the first point of contact, discuss all of the relevant details, and as part of a team with multiple specialists from different areas, be able to bring the most modern and the best treatment approach for that patient. Act that all out in advance so that at every single point of contact with that patient they can know and be reassured that their entire journey is mapped out for them.
So if someone is given the ability to face what they have to face, knowing that they've got full support, they're going to be stronger, they're going to have a more positive attitude. We're going to create a more positive attitude as well, and I think we're going to see, and I've seen it, we're going to get better outcomes.
Every time I go into chemotherapy, I have to have a blood test before I go in, and it's just across the hall from my oncologist. Radiation oncology is just across the hall again. Going up to chemo meant just going to level 2 or 3 of the building, so everything is within reach, very easy to access. I've also had access to some incredible services such as the cold cap, so I've been able to use the Paxman cold cap, which saved my hair. I was able to go across to Jacaranda Lodge, which is where I can get a lot of resources and a lot of information. Questions that I have can be answered. There's lots of videos and books. There's also a big library over there that you can look at, and there's also physiotherapy, so I've met Kim over there and she's helped me with sorting out a lot of problems that I might have had with my body while I was going through the surgery as well. So she looked after my lower back. And then of course the support groups. There's a number of support groups at the SAN. So Young Women's Breast Care meets weekly, and you get to meet like-minded people who are in your situation, you can have an honest conversation with and an honest chat. As much as I can talk to my friends about breast cancer, unless you've walked that path, you don't really understand how that person is feeling. So I can speak to other patients at the hospital who've been in my situation, and there's solidarity and we can support each other through our journeys.
The multidisciplinary team room is a conference facility that was designed for a very specific purpose. It provides a forum for expert cancer specialists to bring individual patient cases for peer review.
This room gives us an opportunity where we can all be together, all the relevant parties involved in deciding on a patient's treatment management, together in one room to come up with the appropriate game plan on how we're going to optimise our patient's outcome.
We understood that what they were describing was actually more like the function of a crisis management centre, where you have many different sources of information being brought to bear very quickly on a situation. We took elements of the audiovisual technology you would expect to see in a boardroom or in a lecture room, certainly in a video conferencing room, and overlaid that with crisis management technology. The specific layout with the U-shaped table and then the raised seating at the back actually works really well in that you've got the presenters around the table, but then the row behind that can also contribute and can very clearly see and hear what's going on.
We're seeing the clinical information presented, and simultaneously we're getting imaging and pathology up on the screen in a seamless manner, and even clinicians can log in on their own computers. Their screens can be put up onto the presentation, and it really makes it a very smooth, efficiently run meeting, and we can draw on information that may not be readily available.
And it really is quite remarkable when we're all together being able to do that. And the other advantage in the room is that it's not just the individual patient's doctor who's discussing the case. It's an opportunity to get opinions from a number of other people who have expertise in this field. It allows for a great collaboration, a much better understanding of what each of our purposes are, and together we can see the nuances and the subtleties so that a game plan can be set aside so we know how best to move forward with that individual patient's case.
And we walk with the patients to try and make things a little bit easier for them and to empower them as much as possible to do this in their own way with the best quality of life that they can have going through it.
And I think it makes a difference doing it well to the patients and their families.
One of the other things that the Integrated Cancer Centre has done has brought together people who have a dedicated commitment and interest in improving patients' outcomes. And it's not just about the building, and it's not just about the multidisciplinary meeting room, it's about the people here at the SAN, it's about the people in the day infusion, it's about the people on our wards who really have made a big difference in improving our patients' outcomes.
And I hear the most beautiful stories, I see the most wonderful, wonderful, loving relationships, and I see this regularly, you know. So do I love my job? Yeah, you bet I do.
So a cancer diagnosis is
Not the worst thing in the world. It's nothing like what I expected. I had such a one-dimensional view on cancer. I thought it was a death sentence. I thought it was the worst possible news you could have, but really there are some incredible innovations and there's some incredible work being done behind the scenes that make my treatment and my life so much easier, and I couldn't be more grateful. It's been an extraordinary experience, and I'm very grateful for every person who works here because they are an amazing bunch of people.
Thank you for saving my mum.
Thank you so much. You've made a huge difference.
Just want to say thank you.
Thanks so much. It helps us care.
Thank you so much.
I just want to say thanks.
You're making a real difference. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
And thank you so much for the lives you have saved with this effort.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.